Hello, First Phorm family. Just want to say thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you for the shirts. And also thank you, Jacqueline, for this handwritten card. It's absolutely amazing. I really appreciate it. You can see it there. Maybe not. There we go. Yeah. Thank you so much for that. And of course, I do have the core values right behind me here. And I am First Phorm because I embody these core values. And I always had this just enthusiasm just to be the fastest wherever I was. Like it didn't matter, class, home. I always wanted to race, always wanted to be the fastest. And I didn't know where this came from. Like, why was I so adamant about being the fastest person ever? Like, it just didn't make any sense, but I just wanted to do it. It was just like in me, just run fast, run fast. And if I lost, I wanted to race you again. Come to find out, my dad was actually training for the 1980 Olympics, which was boycotted, of course, and he never had a chance to run. And after that, he was discouraged and never continued to pursue his Olympic dreams. Transitioning 2011, going into TCU, Texas Christian University, I walked on the team because at that particular time they weren't offering any scholarships. Even though I came over with a great GPA and transferred over, they let me try out on the team, and I mean I worked my behind off. And basically what happened was I ended up making the team, so I was really excited. I was like, man, I can't wait for my first meet in Division One. This is awesome. This is what I've been waiting for. This is what I wanted to do. And one particular practice, the coach called me to the side and was like, hey, Ronald, you need to go down to the athletic admin office to see what's going on. I find out that, according to them, that I didn't have my associate's degree prior to transferring over, which, according to the NCAA clearinghouse, you have to have before you transfer to a Division I school in order to compete in Division I sports. So I had enough credits to transfer academically, but in order for me to actually compete in sports, I needed my associate's degree. Unfortunately, that did end my track career, my collegiate track career, and I was not able to compete at the Division I level, which really hurt because I trained so hard. My body was transitioning to the point where I was running faster than I ever had before in my life. So at that moment, it really crushed me not to be able to run at that level and compete. While I had so much success prior to coming into my collegiate careers. After processing all of that, I was really down on myself. I didn't do well academically at TCU at all. I struggled a lot. Finally getting my bachelor's degree, I had finished reading this book called Instinct for Graduates by T.R.U.T.H. And it was saying, how it's a celebratory moment, looking back on your life. And now, what are the things that you would do just for free? What are the things that you're most passionate about, driven to do, without anybody having to kind of like, press you to do it, but it's something that you would do literally for free, for nothing. Track was one of those things that came to mind for me. And I watched Usain Bolt's documentary, and just watching his story, how he ran through, certain trials and injuries, and being able to overcome that and still, training and being determined to go forward. Like it ignited like a fire in me, like just drastically, because it was so hard for me to just walk away completely from the sport of track, and me not knowing where I could be, see how far I can go. And the fact that I didn't have that opportunity, it really bothered me. So watching that documentary was just igniting me. And then finding out what happened to Justin Gatlin in his career, and watching how he came back from a band, and coming back at his age in the sport of track and field would be considered, man, you're way over the hill at this point. There's no way you'll be able to run as fast as you did before. And to see him combat that and be able to win and to run fast times, I mean, it was just really inspiring for me. I stayed a year in Texas, working a full-time job, but I mean, I really didn't feel like myself, really wasn't working out as much. And I was just really going through the motions, seeing track stuff really kind of bothered me, because I was like, man, I could have been there. I should have been there. That should have been me. That should be me. After a year of work, working full time, I had made the decision to move back to Vegas, my hometown. and to train again and to start over. And at this particular time, I was like around 222 pounds. I called my coach here in Vegas and saying, hey, I'm coming back. I wanted to start training. So I started training, and it's been about going on 3 years this year, if I'm not mistaken, and training and preparing for the Olympics. Once I came back, the first day was rough, so hard, just like dying in training because I had accumulated so much weight over time. And as a sprinter, as a runner, you want to be as light as possible, but as strong as possible in my sport. And it was like the first day I had questioned, is this something that I really want to do and to achieve? Here I am now, these years later. I'm currently right now between roughly 180, 185, all the way from 222. This year, literally this year, I had put in my notice at my job, and then I had left my job in March, early March. And so now literally the focus was just like, hey, I have to focus on just getting myself prepared to maximize my ability, like in totality. I've also become a vegan, and it's been life-changing for me. Anybody who knows me knows that I love to eat, especially meat. And it's been an amazing journey so far. So I started that process at the beginning of this year, putting my notice to my job. Of course, I was saving some money to help me get through a couple of the months or a few of the months to be prepared to go into June already in the U.S. trials, getting endorsements at that point to help me stay afloat all the way into even after the Olympics. That brings me to Phorm and the opportunity that you all presented with the athlete search of the year. And me seeing this on my social media was just like, oh man, this is a great opportunity for me to, one, be able to have sponsorship, but at the same time, after going over your core values, your company in its entirety, of course, just aligns with who I am as a person. Why I believe that I embody these core beliefs is due to the last one here that's on the shirt, is believe. My faith is really at the core of who I am, my faith in God. And I believe that because of my faith in God, with Him, I believe all things are possible. So for me, I live out that in my pursuit in track, in my pursuit of making the Olympic team, in my pursuit of becoming the fastest man in the world. And so in my training, I work out with that belief. I work out with that intensity, and I do that because I genuinely believe I've seen myself, at the Olympics. I've seen myself wearing the gold medal. I believe that with the core values of Phorm and my faith in God, it infuses together, and I would be, again, honored and privileged to wear your brand and to be a help to somebody who is in need, and just, man, change the world one person at a time, man. Thank you so much again for sending me the shirts, the card, Jacqueline. Thank you so much to the team. And so I really hope that you all were able to hear my heart as far as who I am and why I am Phorm.
I would never make you without God. I am only a human. I don't know what I'm doing. You and I would never make